So we have some pretty interesting Dokkan news, which is a producer letter from A. And a lot has been made of this producer letter already. And I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about the possibilities because there seems to be a whole lot riding on this producer letter as a form of hype, as a source of hype. Because if you guys haven't been paying attention, Golden Week hasn't been the most interesting celebration in the world. I'm seeing a lot of people already call it the worst Golden Week ever. We haven't really gotten content. We've gotten missions for like the Frieza event, which isn't anything because like legendary battles aren't content anymore. They're kind of just like auto levels. But with all that being said, let's check out this producer letter timing. It should be launching in about 2 days exactly and 4 hours as of recording this. Let's just go over a few things that we know, a few things that we don't know. We've got this Golden Week sucks every impatient player. Let me tell y'all something. There's this theme in Dokkan Twitter or Dokkan Battle in general where because people just want to be like right, what they'll do is if something hype happens for them, it erases every negative aspect of the celebration. Like remember the worldwide download celebration with Broly, where the Brolys were all good and so were the super units, the Trio and Gohan, but there was literally nothing to do or like there was nothing that you'd want to do in that celebration other than pull. So if you got shafted, that celebration was terrible. There wasn't even like none of the stages were good. None of the stages were good. Right? The content was genuinely terrible. The only content that mattered in that worldwide download celebration in terms of like fun is if you pulled. Like you had to hit. And there was no pity, I believe, right? Pity hadn't come yet. So like you needed to hit or your celebration sucked. Other than that, we have Truth saying, reminder guys that Goku Day is completely done for Dokkan this year. We know everything already. Anything else that's coming this month I would assume would be fitting the Universe 7 or Universe 6 theme going on for Golden Week. And this is obviously important because people are speculating like, oh, what if we get something for Golden Day? What if we get something for Goku Day? That's done. It was a really light, sparse Goku Day as far as I'm concerned. I mean, last year they easy-a'd the Tech Gohan, who is still usable right now. So this is, I mean, we're literally getting a world tournament for this year, right? It's pretty wild. Other than that, we have Rick, and this is a post I really wanted to highlight. Sorry for that little skip. This is a post I really wanted to highlight because I think it has the most interesting speculation of any of the posts put out so far. We're going to read through the whole thing, and then I'm going to give my take on what this could mean and what I think it means. So Rick, who is right a lot of times about Dokkan, like if there is anyone you should be following on Dokkan Twitter, it's just Rick. Like he doesn't really post anything else. He just posts bang, this is what I think is going to happen, and then that shit happens a lot. So the wording is interesting here. Schedule updates, latest operation schedule on JP. Of course, I think we'll get info on this month's update plus a new roadmap for the future updates, but I also think they might finally start talking about what's going to happen with Tenabata and Global Anniversary. It could be as simple as a name change for the campaign, but I don't think they would mention an updated operating schedule for JP if their schedule was going to be exactly the same as it was before they sync. We'll see. We scroll down, we have Annie and Rick talking about it. So the video is 11 minutes long, so it's going to be packed with info. They refer to Tenabata as the thank you celebration in October, which would be weird if they were planning a name change, but we'll see. Either way, I hope we get some meaningful quality of life. It's just interesting that they're bringing back the operation schedule term, especially for JP. They could just be talking about updates, but I do think it makes sense to have Tenabata with a unified name. Renaming it wouldn't hurt JP. I'm gonna guess they're gonna do a roadmap like they did last year, and it's gonna announce a DAIMA campaign for Tenabata or something of the sort. Last year's roadmap told us we'd have a new domain effect, which is the Tech EY's dodge notification, but a name change is also very likely. Also, I think Tenabata or Worldwide Download Celebration will have a name change. It might just be WWC, since Worldwide Celebration doesn't describe anything after the sync, but I also think Global Anniversary is better for marketing than Thank You Celebration, so who knows, they might change both. So I think that, again, they said, you might be correct because this year, instead of just saying it's a thank you bonus, they delayed it by a whole week and renamed it to a Goku Day bonus. That's most likely the case. And Zhao here, I'm mispronouncing that, is right on the money. If you guys aren't familiar, this is JJK Phantom Parade. It's a game I dabble in. I don't talk about it that much, but it has a half anniversary. Half anniversaries are pretty common in a lot of gacha. It's one of those things that, I mean, it just pervades the entire like space, or like, I don't want to say pollute because it's not negative, but it's one of those things that's in almost every other modern gacha. Like, they'll just do something for the 6th year or 6th month, and Dokkan was already sort of doing this with Worldwide. Worldwide is essentially the marriage of the two halves, right? It's not exactly 6 months away, but for all intents and purposes, if you only pulled on 2 things in Dokkan a year, you would pull on Anniversary and you would pull on Worldwide. Because it's essentially, it's essentially the Worldwide and the, it's 2 anniversaries, right? So yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on this. It is probably the least invasive option they could do. The other thing, and let me pull it up because I think it's going to be interesting. So the other thing is, I saw this from a few people, but Minato is the one I thought of immediately. A whole producer's letter for part 2 with an app version update, lack of promo material for Golden Week part 1 compared to previous years. I'll say this again, but there's still a chance that part 2 LR is related to a big DAIMA release instead of, say, LR Kefla. And, some people say, nah, I doubt it. Maybe it's a tag character. People, I saw someone saying they would be, someone said, it's not, Kefla's not hype for them. I saw some people saying that, like, it would be really sad if it was DAIMA because Universe 6 hasn't gotten anything in a while. What I will say is, until it's DAIMA, don't think about DAIMA. Because what we're all just going to be saying over and over and over and over until DAIMA shows up is, hey, maybe this time it's DAIMA, right? We saw this with Golden Week. Every single person who was hedging their bets said, hey, I like this, but let's be honest, it's probably just DAIMA. And clearly they have some sort of plan for DAIMA. Clearly it's not the one we're thinking of. Clearly whatever they've been saving on is taking up a lot of resources, because the post anniversary was already a lot. Anniversary took a lot of time to cook. That dead period for Dokkan is very common, but it's one of those things where if you're going to look at it very objectively, I guess as objective as you can when you're just speculating, DAIMA has been on everyone's minds, and I think whatever they're doing is set to be bigger rather than smaller. I feel like DAIMA could have been in the game at any point beyond the anniversary, any point beyond DAIMA Mini Vegeta, and they've held off. So I would say, how do I feel about DAIMA actually? How do I feel about DAIMA coming in this part 2? I think it's not great, because I think I would just want the DAIMA celebration to be a celebration, like a full celebration. Like, DAIMA looks the best if they do 2 or 4 units, not 1. Does that make sense? Because what the game needs right now is 4 units that we know will be strong, preferably 4 LRs, but if we're being generous, Tanabata could be 2 LRs, and it would fix a lot of the teams, so long as both were different types. So a Goku and then like a Goma, for example, or a Goku and, there's not really another villainous character. I guess you could say Ku and Du were extreme for a little bit, but that is just to say that we don't really need more of the same team, because, and I'll pull that up real quick, and it's because the biggest issue in Dokkan right now is that it's just very samey. You're essentially running Pure Saiyans or Accelerated Battle. I would say those are the teams right now. And that goes for, anyone, really. There's just... It's getting a little dicey. We need more characters who can pack up these teams, because these guys are so unanimous, they're so dominant. This guy especially is just so crazy that these two are so crazy that LR Go Frieza is probably the best. Like, let me think about how to say this. This is probably the 4th best unit released in the anniversary, just because of the exchange function. You know what I mean? It's not because of the core kit. It's because of where content is right now and the exchange giving them these categories. You can always find room for this Go Frieza. You can always find room. And that goes double with, again, accelerated battle, just having more of the same, right? A lot of the easy A's, a lot of the easy A's, a lot of the newest units, right? Newest units. This is kind of Dokkan in a nutshell, and I don't think that gets better with Part 2 LR, you know, Super Saiyan Goku. You know, I don't think it does, but would I be, you know, nonplussed? Would I hate it? Would it be the worst thing to ever happen? No, would it? But yeah, so that's kind of where I am with this announcement. I think I do hope it's a Kefla. I think Kefla makes the most sense. I think that the Easy A's make the most sense. I think that a fusion is always hype. Again, I'm the first person to say that the Universe 6 Saiyans, you know, like, whatever. But a fusion's always hype. People clearly love Kefla. Kefla, and I'm gonna just keep repeating this, probably one of the most drawn characters in Dragon Ball, right? And she would sell. I think she goes I think she gets us top grossing, for example. I know DAIMA gets us top grossing, but I think she also gets us top grossing. And I would rather save DAIMA for an extreme unit, because if there's one thing we need right now, it's teams. We actually don't need anything in Dokkan besides teams. If they're not going to release new interesting content, if they're just going to keep giving us like characters, we need teams. Dokkan's going to get pretty bad if the next villain or just not Saiyan isn't a hitter, because they keep releasing what are essentially slot 2 demons and slot 3 demons and floaters and supports and all that, and they're really like stingy on the slot 1s and like the actual team leaders. I don't think we've gotten a team leading unit. I mean, okay, none of this. No, this character is fine. They're fine. I don't even think they do enough damage for like what the game is right now, but they're fine. These characters are fine. Hit leads a team that needs every other piece like working, right? He's not the boss. You know, Hit is not the boss. He looks good, but he needs these guys. All right, he needs these guys because he has no slot 1s. So again, no bosses. I mean, we could sort by cards and go release date. When is the last time? Would it literally be this Goku right here? Saiyan Day? Like he's like the big man who actually is the leader of his team? I think so. Again, not to say that any of these characters are bad, just that if we're talking like the character who leads the team and actually like makes it function, it is probably this kid Goku. You know, top 5 character in the game, right? So with all that being said, like if you like the video, subscribe to the club, we all go make it, and peace.